how can we most effectively drive the outcome that we want with the experience and expertise that we have around data modeling, and then the visualization of it. So I think the more that companies,
Mhm.
teams can think in this way, that's how you drive impact. That's how you drive results.
That's what I believe in. And so a lot of the work that I do through my organization, Digimasters, when I'm working with private equity or any sort of enterprise that's looking through acquisition or carve out or integration, is we created a new diligence process called digital diligence. And the difference between normal diligence is most diligence processes focus on the financial um, benefits, whereas we started looking at organizations and how well they were using their actual technology. So, yes, you have CRM. Yes, you have a data team. That's a tick. But now we're going to double click. And what the skills and everything I learned was just because somebody has a piece of technology and a tool doesn't mean it's actually being used within the business process. So we do a diligence working out that the company, let's say it's an acquisition, they've got a modern CRM, yes. They spent 50 million putting it in, and it's been running for 2 years. Their month end reporting is still in Excel.
Right.
They
Right.
aren't using that. You're going to have to spend at least another 10 million on change management because they bought the tool, they integrated the tool, but they didn't do change management properly. And the
Yeah.
culture in that organization isn't able to adapt and change very quickly to technology.
Or the
And
rollout was poorly done, right? People thought about the build rather than the actual adoption.
exactly. And the main skill set is yes, there's a lot of experience from knowing about tools and knowing about business you have to have. But the secret weapon is what keep talking about is empathy. So you need to keep putting yourself in the other person's shoes. Otherwise, digital transformations fail, data programs fail, these AI programs will all fail because we're just doing technology first. And it's a cliche to say, oh, it has to be business led. But it doesn't mean you just wait for the business to do something. They have their day jobs. They've got other things to do. And some of them will be, if it ain't broke, I've still got targets to hit. I've got
Hmm.
time to do this as well. So you as a technologist or a data person can still make this technology and data led by thinking about the business, by working with them, by understanding what they're doing, and then moving the program forward based on what you think they're going to need. And you keep checking with them, but you don't just sit back and wait and go, well, I've asked for their requirements. They're the experts until I've got it. I don't care if we're paying the system integrator every single day. It's not my fault it's being delayed. So that sort of mentality doesn't work. So if you're hiring talent, I always look for, yes, intelligence, high IQ, but ultimately high EQ. But that EQ has to convert into empathy for others, and not in the way that, how do you feel, but what drives that person? Why does that business function even exist in the first place? And then, does the technology I'm putting in actually help or hinder that? Can we customize it to work with them? Or can they adapt their processes to work with the technology, which is ultimately cheaper for the business? But also, do you sacrifice any USP in that organization by forcing a business team to work the way the technology does? And
It,
it's always
it,
something in the middle.
yeah, I think it's so well put. I've thought about this before about the need for EQ in business, and obviously it's needed in sales, but also in technology, in understanding human behavior, psychology as well. But I think the word empathy is really good at summing that up. And it's almost ironic because we think of STEM jobs, and particularly perhaps data technology, as being, oh, well, you're just writing code. It's all very analytical. It's very, binary, black and white, and you're not interacting with people. And it's almost the exact opposite, that empathy is more needed in that area because you're trying to understand, to the best of your ability, the person's psychology, their behavior, their needs, their wants, their goals, their desires. And you're trying to then manifest that into building a thing, or finding the right data to tell that story to inform that action. I love the word
Yeah.
empathy.
So we have a massive opportunity right now because of Gen AI. So if Gen AI can allow an okay coder to be a great coder, because ChatGPT um, 4.0 model can work really, really well, give you the code, and you know enough about it to go through and go, well, that's quite efficient. Yeah, that should work. But you might not be the best in the world. That now gives you, as a leader, the ability to hire people with more of that maybe EQ side of things and not have to
Hmm.
focus on the deep technical because they're augmented by the tool, by GenAI, by all the extra features that come with GitHub now, and etc. So I, as a leader, will adapt the type of job description and the type of person I look for because, I mean, I'm doing coding again as an exec because it's great. So I was like, I need to know how to do this. Do I go out to my team of engineers? And I went, no, I'll just ask ChatGPT, read the code and went, I think that'll work. And it did. So even obviously, I used to be a coder and I understand all the aspects of it, but I haven't been hands on for decades. So for me, that again is another light bulb moment, like the visual analytics, which is how do we get better at getting adoption and ROI on our data programs, our AI programs and products? Well, maybe I'm not hiring the right person anymore. I don't want somebody that has a PhD in code and object orientation and all of that type of stuff. I want somebody that can understand business and understands what coding is and understands DevOps and operations, and that it has to be handed over in support and just think outside their bubble and have empathy for others. And yes, they might not be the deep technical person that I need back in the day, but now they're augmented. So it doesn't matter.
If you enjoyed that clip, there is much more of that conversation. Make sure to check out the full interview where we get into so much more. And if it was helpful, click the like and subscribe button. If not, no worries. Hopefully, I'll convince you next time. I hope you have a wonderful day and enjoy wherever you are.